It is quite the understatement, maybe the understatement of the century, to say we have quite the cool down coming our way.
I've been calling it a cold down because cool feels like too light of a word.
Right. It's like a freezer down. I mean, it's going to be intense.
I think it's pretty legitimate cold. Because
Right.
obviously it's Maine, it gets cold here, but we're going to have wind chills down into the minus 40s in some spots. But today, it was colder than it was yesterday. However, it's warmer than it will be the next 2 days, that's for sure. High temperatures today, upper 20s, low 30s, teens in areas of northern Maine. We did have a wind chill factor because it was a little bit breezy in spots, winds out of the west primarily, about 25 to 35 miles per hour. And here is where the cold starts to get a little more serious. Overnight tonight into tomorrow, we have an extreme cold warning in effect here in the areas shaded in that darker blue color for wind chills down to minus 40. And then a cold weather advisory in the southern half of the state, wind chills down to minus 20, which is extremely cold. Obviously, there's a frostbite risk there if you're going to be outside for prolonged periods of time, so make sure you dress and act appropriately, protect yourself, your pets, and your pipes. So in terms of the snow, that's what comes in after the cold. So it's going to be extremely cold starting tonight, lasting through Sunday, and then Sunday afternoon is when the snow starts to arrive. Especially if you have plans in western Maine in the afternoon, it's going to start getting tricky, especially before 3 p.m. in areas of far southern Maine. In general, the farther north and east you go, the snow will start a little bit later there. So obviously the snow starts to come in as we get into Sunday afternoon. The heaviest snowfall is going to be Sunday night into early Monday morning. So I think that the Monday morning commute is definitely going to be pretty tricky. And take a look at some of these temperatures. Single digits, teens, even below zero in some spots of far northern Maine. And this is also a longer duration storm. So it's going to be snowing throughout much of the day Monday, though snowing a little bit later. So keep in mind, if you wake up Monday morning and you haven't reached the amount of snowfall that we have in our contours, it is going to keep snowing during the day on Monday. And that will last into the afternoon. So we have this fairly dry snow coming into play, and that's why a lot of our totals are fairly high. For example, we've actually upped our totals from yesterday. That 12 to 18 contour has moved farther north, as has the others, on isolated higher totals possible, especially in areas of York County and the New Hampshire seacoast. In general, the farther north you are, the less snow you will see. So we've talked a lot about how this is going to be a drier snow. And when you talk about snow ratios, in this example, we'll say take 1 inch of water. When it's colder, cold air holds less moisture than warm air does. So you have 1 inch of water that in colder temperatures, it goes a lot longer, it goes a long way. So for example, if it's 30 degrees, you have wet snow, an inch of water may give you 5 inches of snow. But in a dry snow, that same 1 inch of water could get you up to 20 inches in spots. So right now, we're looking more at about an 18-to-1 ratio, but it's certainly something that we're going to keep an eye on, and it's why we keep talking about this fluff factor. It all has to do with the science behind how the liquid and the snow works together. So again, just a summary, some context of the storm here. Sunday night through the day on Monday, pretty high snowfall ratio, and that fluffier snow does lower the power outage risk. Marine forecast sees 4 to 6 feet. Quick look at that 7-day forecast. I wanted to point out that behind this snow, it is still going to remain very cold, Bailey. So I would not expect the snow that you see to be going anywhere anytime soon.
Absolutely. Okay. We will be right back because we have a fun topic coming up.